Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining for another episode of Talk About Rock. I'm your host, Rob Edwards. Today with us, we have a band that just brings the raw intensity of AC/DC and the street swagger of Guns N' Roses to every show. Please welcome Appetite for Voltage. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having us.
No problem. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. So I'd like to start off first, why a Guns N' Roses AC/DC tribute? There's lots of tribute bands going on, but why did you guys zero in on that?
It kind of started around the time that Axl Rose was filling in for Brian Johnson with AC/DC, and it kind of sparked like an idea. I was like, man, that's a kind of a cool combination that might work for like a tribute band, because I've seen other tributes that do like, there's a band that does like Motley Crue and Poison or something like that.
Right.
It's a cool concept. Maybe we could do it with like Guns N' Roses and somebody else. And then when he actually joined that, AC/DC for that short time there, I was like, that's it right there. Because I've always been a huge Guns N' Roses fan, and I'm kind of known for singing in that style or whatever.
Yeah, you definitely have that style, and I think a lot of fans were happy to see when Axl stepped in, right? I think a lot of folks were like, has AC/DC's time passed? What are they going to do? They're getting older. Brian's having some problems. What's going to happen? And then it kind of reinvigorated them a little bit, which was real cool. That was really neat. Yeah. What previous projects did you guys have before this? I mean, you must have had other things going on, right?
Yeah. I had been in a lot of different like kind of cover bands and stuff like that, but I actually, for about 10 years, was in a band called Methanol, and we sounded kind of like a bit of a modern Guns N' Roses. That was our goal, was to kind of go for that, and we wrote all our own original stuff. So we actually put out an album back in 2011 and opened for some bigger names and stuff locally. And it was a long haul with that band. We really were trying to go places and stuff. We were successful kind of on a local, maybe a little bit regional level,
right?
And doing a pretty cool music video for like our big single and stuff like that. So like I said, that's where I've kind of come from, and people since that project have always known that I kind of had a bit of like an Axl Rose type voice, even though I don't feel like I really sounded as much like him on that. I was really going for, just to be myself. But then in various cover bands, I was known for like doing, especially that Guns N' Roses AC/DC, I could really nail that.
Right.
I think that's just kind of a natural progression when deciding to, do this band. It was kind of like I called these guys up and I'm like, this seems right. And they're like, yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And it's cool that a lot of bands are still doing the videos every once in a while. Obviously, my generation coming from the video thing, it's still nice to see that once in a while, even though MTV's not really MTV anymore, you know what I mean? Things like that.
Right.
But I know you guys don't have a ton of time, so let's go around a little bit and introduce the band here and talk to the other folks here too. Who else do we got?
Yeah.
How's it going? I'm Brian, the bass player.
Hey, Brian. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What projects maybe you worked on prior?
Like Seth, I've been in numerous original bands. In the last handful of years, mainly been doing cover stuff. I still play in a band called Tommy Brunette, Iron Smoke Whiskey, you might have heard of that, and an 80s pop project called The Breakfast Club.
Okay.
And then I've done some touring and whatnot through the years. And
nice.
Really
nice.
Like to take this band to the next level regionally, and hopefully nationally, maybe. Yeah.
And are you all you guys are from the Rochester area? Is that correct? Or
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what do we have next?
I'm Dylan. I play guitar.
Hey, Dylan.
How's it going?
So tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, a little bit.
Yeah. So I like these guys. I play in various cover bands and original projects. I've been doing that for quite a while. And me and Seth are from the same hometown, so that's how I know him.
Nice.
Actually, we played together in Methanol for a few years, and Brian. So then, yeah, we got, like I said, I got some original projects and some cover bands I do alongside of this.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
I'm Dave Maybellis. I play the part of Slash.
How's it going today? So I think you're the newest member to the group here. Is that correct? Or okay, yeah, I got a chance to see you guys, and yeah, you really sounded nice. So what have you done previously? And give us a little info about yourself.
I spent years trying to push originals. I've been playing in bands that have been a mix of original and covers. I actually played with Todd years ago in the mid '90s in a band that got some regional success. We did some touring, had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I just write songs and just play, with people I love and try to make it work.
Yeah, when I caught your show at the stage, you guys, it really sounded nice. I was talking to Seth a little bit there about you after the show, and I was like, yeah, I like your new guy. It's a good fit for you guys, definitely.
I'm trying to bring sexy back.
Hey, that never goes out of style, right?
Hey, I'm Todd. I'm the drummer. Like these guys, just a ton of original projects and sprinkled in with some cover projects over the years. I actually was in a punk rock band for 8 years. That was just some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. Playing punk rock drums,
right?
Really local, not even regional. Ton of fun though. But yeah, I mean, I've known Brian for a long time, I've known Dave for a really long time. We've been in a couple different bands together over the years. We just love rock and roll. We love classic rock, 80s rock, some 90s rock, having a lot of those same roots. I mean, even Dylan's the youngest one in the band, but, you could ask him anything you want about any Rolling Stones album, and he'll be able to tell you about that track, right? So we all have kind of those classic rock roots. So when Brian said, hey, Seth wants to put this act together, would be interested in being the drummer, I said, GNR, love them. AC/DC, love them, right? That's all we get to do. How much fun is that?
Right.
Big stadium rock bands was with tons of hits. It was just an easy yes to join Seth and be the drummer for him in this band. So it's been great so far.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a solid lineup, a solid sound. You know what I mean? It really comes across. You guys are enjoying it when you're on stage. You can definitely feel that from everybody. I've watched some of your videos and some of your promos and stuff, and you guys are playing some different shows, and you can really get that. Have you ever thought about doing like a tribute album? Some of these cover bands, they do like a tribute thing, right? They do some songs, and they put out a tribute thing for different charities. You guys ever thought about doing anything like that, or any originals or anything?
I don't think we've really thought about doing anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. I never say never,
Right. Yep, I just noticed. I just figured I'd throw that out to some bands. Yeah. Some bands do that, so I was just wondering, kind of what's in the works. You ever thinking about tossing in any originals yet, or are you just gonna stay the tribute? You think it is? I
think stay the course with the branding and everything that we have with this band. It was, I mean, if we did do like an original, if somebody had like a killer song they wanted to bring it, I think maybe we would release it under a different name or something. I don't want to confuse people with, the name we came up with is so specific to those two bands.
Right. And you try to put on the air of Axl too, which is great. You got the move down, you got some of the outfits down. It's definitely, and then you guys are bringing out the devil horns or AC/DC. All those little extras make it. I mean, you guys got the solid sound, no doubt. You got the sound for Hell's Bells. Me and my girlfriend were checking it out. I'm like, they're doing the Hell's Bells. I was like, yes, they are. Hell yeah. You got to do that. You know what I mean? You had it right there on the. I think you had a synth drum doing it or something. I think, but it sounded great. So yeah, definitely cheers to all that stuff. I wanted to ask you, Seth, too. Being that you do an Axl and AC/DC, do you do like a vocal exercise before the shows or anything? You have like a little ritual you do? Because these guys aren't easy to sing, right?
Whiskey.
A lot of whiskey, a lot of screaming, or
for 20 minutes.
Because I know Axl used to have a whole thing, like he couldn't be on stage unless he did like his half an hour, whatever he had to do. Right. I don't know what he had to do, but he had to get through that to get there.
No, in all seriousness, I do. I drink a lot of water. That's just keeping, hydration for the vocal cords, keep them kind of, lubricated, whatever. And yeah, I do have a warm-up routine and even a cool down routine afterwards. It's, you know, it's all muscles and stuff in there. So you gotta, yeah, it's like an athlete, you gotta exercise and, or, you know, warm up, cool down. And you know, especially some of the Brian Johnson stuff with AC/DC can be quite taxing, you know, if you do it wrong. So
Yeah, yeah,
you blow
definitely.
your voice out with singing some of that stuff, especially on the Back in Black album.
Right.
So I try to take care of my voice. Yeah, I really do. And you know, we do a shot before the show for good measure.
Right. Get a little pumped up. Sure.
Yeah, I gotta keep
Sure.
a little fire
Excellent.
in there, you know.
Excellent. So here's the thing I'll just throw out to everybody there. So I've been talking about this on some of the previous shows, kind of with the state of music, how things are changing, right? With it's changing from a product to streaming, you know what I mean? And now it's pretty much artists can only, you know, do anything with a live show, you know? Do you guys have any thoughts about what do you think the future of music's going to be, or how it's going to change? Or, you know, I've talked to some people and they think maybe at some point we're going to change back, you know, hopefully in years to come, maybe the streaming won't be as popular. Maybe the product will come back. Vinyl's starting to make a comeback. Maybe we'll see that in the future. Do you guys have any thoughts along those lines?
I actually do. I'm getting ready to release some solo music just under my own name. It's quite different than anything with this band is associated with or anything like that. It's a little bit more on the pop rock side, but so I've been staying pretty current on what, you know, is the best way or what seems to be the most fruitful way, you know,
Right.
to, you know, in a way to, you know, get the maximum amount of views and listens to the, you know, music you're releasing. And I think streaming is definitely where it's at now. I mean,
Right.
Our band 10 years ago, Methanol, we released, you know, a full-length album on CD mainly. You know, it was just, we were pumped about like, we're gonna have a CD, you know, and all that stuff. I would never even think of doing that now. It's like, I think certain bands could do that, but I don't think smaller artists could do it. I think and I don't think you should release albums either. I think you should release singles. You could probably release an album at the end of a run of singles, you know, but so people consume now is singles.
And if you think about it, that's where it started, right? In the 50s, that's what you did, right? You released a couple singles. If they got enough hype about it, then they went back and then they made an album. Then record companies got greedy and they said, no, we're going to change that format. We're going to put out an album with all the stuff. It's going to be more expensive, but they're going to buy it anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And then a live album and then a greatest hits album. And then,
right. Keep pumping it out, right? You know, and I've talked to a couple different acts and they have, you know, varied opinions on it. Some of them still try to put out an album once in a while just to kind of get a feel, see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that kind of irks me is the streaming thing, because artists really don't make anything off the streaming thing. That's killing it. And from a fan's perspective, that's why we got to pay the big bucks to see the shows now, right?
Yeah.
Because these artists don't make anything. You know, you're selling out hundreds of dollars to sit, you know, wherever to see, you know, a band you really like. And maybe you can only see one or two bands, big bands that summer, right? You know, when I was younger, you see 4 or 5 bands every summer when they came to town. You know, now you got to be real choosy and pick. But
yeah, no, I think you nailed it, man. It's maybe for, you know, like AC/DC just released, you know, they got Brian back and they released an album, I think it was last fall. And those kind of rules of like the singles and stuff, that doesn't really apply to a band like that, you know?
right.
Those guys can put out an album and people are going to buy it. It doesn't matter, you know? They're so big. Them, you know, Guns N' Roses, all the old school bands. It's like, but I think, you know, if you're trying to get out there as more of an unknown artist nowadays, I think, you know, singles is the way to go, you know?
Yeah. I think for upcoming people, it's so hard to get out there. I mean, I guess I would maybe just put stuff on a site and do it that way, but yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll stay tuned and see what happens with music. I'm hoping there's more of a resurgence. You know, I'm hoping they originally go back to, like you said, you know, do the singles, do an album. You know, I like the album format, but I just don't like it. One, as a fan, you got to pay a lot of money to see the show, and the artists really are not getting the recognition they used to get. Let's be honest. It doesn't happen
really no
anymore.
money in it.
you know?
I think you gotta love it nowadays to do it, it's just like.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it, but with shows opening up, with the pandemic, starting to wind down a little bit, it's great that we're seeing, bands coming back out, announcing tours, and that's why we had the idea to do this show. We want to bring that back to everybody. We want to say, hey, there's local music out there. You guys want to support it, and you got to go out and see it. You want to have these bands around? Well, you got to go out and support them and check them out. There's a lot of good music in different towns,
Yeah.
So my co-host in Nashville, he tries to bring us some stuff from there. I have a connection in Vegas. He plays out there. He tries to give us the scene out there. But that's kind of our mantra here is say, hey, let's give a go to our local bands and remember that or this music's going to go away,
Right.
and we don't want that.
Yeah, you gotta have fans there. You gotta have people in the audience, right? It's no fun for the bartender, no offense to bartender.
Right.
They have to be there.
Yeah.
Right. So speaking of that, so where can we catch you guys coming up? I know I see different shows coming up. So where can we catch you next couple weeks or a couple months going on?
So yes, we have actually this week, I think it's Thursday, right? We're playing a bike night at Chicks. That's in Angola.
You'd never believe this, but Guns N' Roses and AC/DC songs go over really well.
Yeah, we'll probably be coming out there checking you guys out for that one. That sounds like a good gig. Yeah.
We got a lot more.
Yeah, we got July 9th, we're at Rochester Beer Park, which that'll be pretty much our first show back in our hometown here, Rochester.
Yeah.
Since like a year. So that's right in the city. So that'll be great. July 17th, we're doing Rock and Rescue at the Hamlin Fire Department, Hamlin Fireman's Field there. Usually Hamlin does a fireman's carnival every year, but obviously this year with COVID and everything, they've had to kind of keep the numbers down. But
Right.
they still want to have like a concert. So they picked us, they called us up, and we're like, yeah, we're on for it. So that's June 17th. August 6th. Oh, I'm sorry. Rock and Rescue, Hamlin Fire Department. That's July 17th.
Okay.
Hey about that. Thanks, Todd.
And then
August 6th, we're at the Stage. So that's where we met.
Yep.
Time.
That's a great venue. I love that venue. I'm so glad that came
venue.
back. We don't have enough good venues in this town. We definitely don't, not in Buffalo. I don't know how Rochester is. I haven't been there in a while. I worked in Rochester for a long time, but it's nice to see some of the better venues coming back here. Definitely.
Yeah, the Stage is a great venue. We loved it there. We had a blast. Everybody's great there. And August 8th, we're back here in our hometown area, Pelican's Nest. That's on the water. So that's like a great place, a great summer venue to hang out. So looking forward to that. And then I think for our last summer show that we have scheduled is August 20th, bike night at Harv's Harley Davidson. That's Mastodon, I believe, right? So like Todd was saying, we're pretty well known with the bike nights.
Excellent. So if fans want to reach out to you or if they want to get any of your merchandise like that, is there somewhere where they can go and check that out?
Yeah, go right to our Facebook page. There's a link right at the top, I believe. And we do have we have Facebook and we have an Instagram, I believe, is out there as well. So make sure to follow us and like us on all that. And Facebook's kind of our main site, but we actually do have a merch site. So you can purchase stuff through, going to the Facebook page.
Now, do you guys have a sponsor too? I was looking at some of your stuff on stage. You have a sponsor as well?
Yeah, as you can see, the boys are all drinking some lights here. So we got quite a few, almost after we formed, we got a sponsorship with Bud Light. So yeah, they've been great with us, and they'll send the Bud Light girls out, for some of our local shows here in Rochester, and they'll give us some beer and all that good stuff.
You should just invite them up on stage maybe for a tune, right? I'm sure they would love that.
Happened, yeah.
Right?
Anything can happen in this band. It's
Right.
It's rock and roll, like you said at the intro there. We like to bring it,
Yeah, it's definitely, you guys definitely bring the energy. It's, you guys put on a great show. Definitely, folks, if you haven't seen them, go and check them out. Some of the local dates, we'll be posting it on our Facebook page as well when you see them. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you taking the time. talking with us today. It's been great. As always, folks, if you want to hear anything from us here at Talking About Rock, you can email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. Check us out on our Facebook page as well. And of course, all our interviews and videos are posted on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we really appreciate you having us, man. It's awesome. We're really pumped to get going again after it's been a long, COVID has put us all kind of, out of the performance spotlight. So I think I'm seeing bands pop up all over the place with gigs and stuff. So, like you're saying, hopefully, people will start to come back out and get supporting the local music scenes and stuff. And it's, get rocking again, get rolling,
Exactly. And we're seeing that now with folks. I think we're all so appreciating that people are doing that. So guys, have a great day. Again, thank you so much. Maybe we'll chat with you again next week, folks. Please tune into the show. We'll be talking with Kiss tribute band, Mr. Speed. But thank you so much, Appetite for Voltage. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.